Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Tournament Talk. Today we are looking at Nurgle team tournament rosters. So we're looking at tournament rosters for all the teams that have been spawned in the Blood Bowl 2020 rulebook. The reason for that is that we're hoping the world will return to normal soon. Blood Bowl Season 2 is about to be released and there should be a lot of good Blood Bowl to be played on the tabletop. Every Blood Bowl tournament is very different though, so what we're doing is we're putting together some lists for 1.1 million and 1.2 million. The reason for that is it gives you a good gauge and then you can add or take away whatever you need to get the list that you want to run. Also, it will give you an idea of exactly the kind of rosters you can be facing in these tournaments. Every tournament has different skill packages as well, so all we're going to do skill wise is touch on some of the key ones. So if you only get a couple of skills you're allowed on your team, we want you to know what we think are some of the most important ones for your build. Anyway, onward to the Nurgle rosters. Okay, so the first one is the standard 1100 build. This will basically form the basis of most Nurgle tournament rosters. The reason for that is you've got a bit of everything. So, there is one Rotspawn, or Beast of Nurgle, 4 Bloaters, which are the Nurgle warriors, they're the strength 4 pieces, 2 Pestigors, which are your diseased beastmen, and 4 Rotters, along with 3 rerolls. That gives you 11 players, and the majority of them have regeneration, so they're going to be sticking around. The Rotspawn is essentially a mutated troll, so the skills that suit that role work really well for it. So guard, and if you can, block. Block will help defend it. Guard is beautiful for this thing. This thing has tentacles already, so you just put it in a spot and it just ties everybody up. It also means that if you've got guard on it, the guys who are next door are going to get even better blocks on those guys. If you do have a double to spend on block for the beast or for the Rotspawn, it's just going to defend itself even better. You get 4 bloaters. Now these guys are very slow at movement 4, but they're pretty tough at armor 10 plus and strength 4. So block and guard work really well for these guys, the same way as the Chaos Chosen blockers, Chaos Warriors, and the Black Orcs across the board. Block and guard are just going to help with your frontline consistency, and they're going to help protect you when you cage up to move that ball, and they're going to help when you finally move to crush someone else's cage. And if you really want to crush someone else's cage, Pestigors are possibly what you're looking for. So these guys are the fastest player on this team. They're movement 6, strength 3, agility 3+. So they are your blitzers, they are your ball carriers, they are your everything. Because they've got horns, they're blitzing at strength 4 as well. So giving one block, always a good thing. You can use it as a blitzer or as a ball carrier because that block is going to help it, and then it's going to be able to blitz out at strength 4 with block. It's going to free itself up brilliantly. Taking tackle creates a very good safety as well, or sweeper. The angle of that is that you're always going to get 2 dice basically, and you're going to have tackle to benefit it, which is lovely. Rotters are garbage. They're 35k. They are movement 5, I think. Yeah, movement 5, strength 3, agility 4+. They've got decay and plague ridden, which does nothing in this, but they do have armor 9+. So they're not the worst at sticking around. Think zombie strategies. If you've got a couple of spare skills, giving one kick would be very useful for you to pin that ball deep, allowing you to just maul up the front line and then split the opponent's team in 2. Dirty player as well will never hurt because these guys are cheap and you can get a cheeky foul in. So there's one skill to talk about here, and this will be the same for most of these rosters. Leader. So you can put leader on one of your Pestigors. Doing that frees up 70k for your roster, which is the equivalent of 2 Rotters. So this list here is 11 players. If you drop a reroll, put leader on one of your Pestigors, you can take that up to 13 players. It's really up to you. You can save a bit of cash. That's the beautiful thing about the Nurgle roster, is that although your main pieces are very expensive, you've got a lot of flexibility when it comes to the cheap stuff. There's an alternative fast build, however, which maxes out on those Pestigors we just talked about. 1 Rotspawn, Beast of Nurgle, 3 Bloaters. So you drop 1 Bloater and it allows you to max out 4 Pestigores instead, with 3 Rotters and 3 rerolls. What we just spoke about with Leader is absolutely the same, but it's even better when you've got 4 of these guys. So you lose one of your slow Strength 4 pieces to max out on your Strength 3 Blitzer pieces. It's gonna change it up a little bit. I think this one comes in at 1100 as well. It's definitely something to consider, and it really depends on your style of play as the Nurgle coach. If you want 4 pillars of strength plus the big dude himself, you can go for the first list. If you want to be able to react a little bit more, that's the extra 2 squares of movement, and you're still blitzing the same strength, you can go with this build. And then when you ramp it up to 1200, you just get everything. So the full 1200 here comes in at 1180, 1 Rotspawn, 4 Bloaters, 4 Pestigores, 2 Rotters, so that takes you up to 11 players, and 3 rerolls. So you do get to max out on everything, and like we discussed earlier, you can use Leader to get you that 3rd reroll, sell that 3rd reroll, and buy a couple of extra Rotters. While we're talking about rerolls, this team has lower than average agility, essentially. Okay, the Pestigores are good on 3+, and the Rotters are good-ish on a 4+. You're going to need those rerolls to save you when it comes to dodging and when it comes to picking up the ball. You've got a ton of strength, and with the skills that you are able to put on your players, guard and block, you're going to maximize that strength possibility. So you should be okay with blocking and surviving being blocked. But when it comes to moving the ball or dodging out for a risky play, you're going to need those rerolls. So I really wouldn't recommend running a 2 reroll list without having Leader in there to at least save you some of the time. Okay, we've got some cool star player builds for you though, and I think this is something that's going to be really exciting with Nurgle. So Nurgle have Favourite of Nurgle as the special ability. For the time being, until it's clarified, we believe that means that the Favourite of ... stars can be taken by the Favourite of Nurgle. If that's not the case, then Nurgle really having a bad time. But for now, we'll assume that Favourite of ... count as being able to be taken by the Favourite of anything. And the first one we've got is the Phlegmy Hakflem build. 1185 again, we've got Hakflem Shuttle Spike, along with 4 Bloaters, 4 Pestigores, and 3 Rotters. You will need to take Leader on one of your Pestigores, but you've got 4 of them to supply that extra 2 rerolls, and you can drop a Pestigore to take 2 Rotters to take you up to 12 players. In addition to Hakflem, so that's 13 all in. So what this roster gains, as is, let's say you're happy with 12 players including a star, 4 strength 4 pieces that you can upgrade to be block/guard depending on your skill set. You've got Pestigores then, who are movement 6 and they're blitzing at strength 4 without any skills. Like I said, tackle's good, block's good, Leader is required. So you get 4 big guys, 4 strong blitzer kind of role players, 3 chaff, and a strength 3 gutter runner as well with extra heads and extra arms. So Hakflem is going to be able to allow you a fast score. Historically, Nurgle have relied on the Pestigores for any kind of breakout movement, and it's movement 6. This guy's movement 9. You should be able to muscle with all that strength and your Pestigores blitzing to move forward to create some kind of cage or a launch pad and just score with Hakflem. Then on defense, you can sell your Rotters on the line, use your Bloaters as your linebackers. Then you've got Pestigores to support, and you've got Hakflem as your opportunity scorer. This roster makes Nurgle really exciting. And we've got another star, Grimy Glart. So Glart Smash Rip can also be taken. Same roster as the one we just looked at. Takes it up to 1200k. Glart here takes the position of the Beast of Nurgle, essentially. And what you get instead is a movement 5, strength 4, agility 4+ piece with block, claw, grab, juggernaut, and stand firm. So it's more offensive than the Beast. You don't have a nega trait, and it does come with block. And essentially you end up with a 5th strength 4 player instead of a single strength 5 with really stupid. So Glart can be independent, and at movement 5 he is as fast as almost anything on your team. So you get 5 bruisers, 4 Pestigores on your offense. It's a real tough one. Hakflem will give you more score, but Glart will probably help you dominate the board. Kind of, you got 3 angles really. You've got the Beast of Nurgle on the slow end, you've got Glart in the middle, and you've got Hakflem on the fast end. All for 1200k. Basically take your pick. And say what you want about the star players in this edition. I know the costing's a bit off and the availability changes things, but the last one we've got here to look at is Grak Vombleberry. So never before, actually maybe Brickfarth and Grotty could be taken, but basically here you can take Grak and Crumbleberry for 1175 all in. You've got 4 Bloaters, 2 Pestigores, 5 Rotters and 2 rerolls. So you do lose the Beast of Nurgle, but it's replaced by an Ogre, which is significantly better if you're going to be moving and punching. If you want to stay and sticking stuff in place, the Ogre's not quite so good. And you get the Halfling as well that comes with Sure Hands. So you get a kick teammate option, you get inbuilt Sure Hands, you get a bit of stunty dodge. For 250, you do lose out on a couple of Pestigores, and you do lose out on the Beast of Nurgle. Now, there are some costing things you can do. I believe you can drop a Bloater, turn it into a Rotter, and I think you can upgrade 2 Rotters to Pestigores to kind of balance out the cost. So you could go 3 Bloaters, 4 Pestigores, and then this roster looks a lot faster. It depends what you want to do with the strength side. Or you downgrade a Pestigore and get an extra Rotter. There's a lot of individual juggling you can do. You need that 3rd reroll, so you're going to have at least 1 Pestigore for that leader. That's kind of just, you kind of just need it. But this angle gives you 13 to 14 players, depending on how you split your costings. You get a big guy, you get 3 or 4 strength 4 pieces, 2 to 4 blitzing strength 4 pieces, and you get that kick teammate stretch play. It's really exciting. So we've seen now that you've got the standard Nurgle build, you've got the fast build with Hakflem, you've got a reasonable mid-range build with Glart, and you've got the throw teammate Ogre build here with Grak and Crumbleberry. This is a good time for Nurgle. Hopefully they won't change the rules on that, but hopefully they will introduce some more favourite of Nurgle only things, and if we see Lewd Grip Whiparm back, that would be pretty fantastic for all of these rosters, because Lewd Grip was solid. Not in this edition so far, so you're going to have to make do with an Ogre and a Halfling. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these rosters and if there's any I have missed. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon for some more tournament rosters.